Hi guys. Welcome back to a new episode of Weekend Chats with Mac. With two of my boys here. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Yo, what's up? It's Pako Lekhutile on Twitter. I'm joining my boy for a very special episode of Weekend Chats with Mac.
Away.
Hi guys, my name is Gorata Phuthego, Dagboy D on Instagram and Gorata Phuthego on Facebook.
I bet. Thank you guys for joining me here today. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Anyway, it's on many occasions say whenever a situation ends or a relationship or a friendship ends, we are always so quick to blame the other person. 1, 2, 3, but we never really get to step back, self-introspect, and see how maybe our actions might have resulted or played a role in how things ended.
Yeah.
So Tata Hella, in today's episode, to you listening, I'm here to tell you that you were the problem. Kewe na mudira dilo, hasi yo mublima, kwe na mudira dilo. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. But yeah, like I said, it's on those many occasions that we want to shift blame to the other person, the other party, and not once do we ever want to hold ourselves accountable. It's like every time New Year, my New Year's resolution is to cut off fake friends,
keep a small circle.
What am I doing wrong?
Honest.
What is your take on this? What do you feel?
Okay, well, basically now I feel like the reason why we tend to put the blame on other people is because we look at the fact that by that time, the relationship is ending or the friendship is ending. What happened on that particular day? It determine who's at fault. No, I've been pushing this person to a point where oh, the liana,
okay, so when something happens today, we just look at what happened today, never
on that particular day, not what happened from.
I see. Yeah, that is true.
We don't focus on the things that led to that point.
For example, it's just there is in our studies also. When you're fail, and then when you pass. You don't look at the struggles that you went through. Your grades from term 1 to term 2 to term 3.
It's not something that happens instantaneously. It's a continuous build-up of actions.
But
that we never really look back on.
We never really look back on.
Yeah, so basically to my understanding, it's that it's not really fun to do self-introspection. It's not easy as people make it, to be. It's not easy to just sit down. It's not easy, it's not fun. It's the easiest thing to do in this case is to blame somebody else. But the more we do that, where we blame somebody else, we don't for
sure.
Yeah, no, Aish Majita. There's a lot of things that we do wrong that we never really want to take accountability for, and it's something that has to change from within. But like I said, self-criticism is a very, very hard thing to do,
honest,
and it's not really easy. But for somebody you're able to realize you were the problem, that is big ups to you. But for when you're saying there are some things that you were doing that maybe you feel are justified, but
no, honestly, I do agree with you, because I feel like self-introspection on its own, it comes when I feel like the reason why we always put the blame on people is because of how we feel at that particular moment. But until you sit back or go through the process, you sit down and feel no, I was blaming this person because I was hurt, and because my emotions at that particular time were there, and now because they're here. That's where self-introspection comes in. So people, we tend to introspect ourselves. We tend to take a time Correct. What can I say? We tend to take time to
look at ourselves maybe when we're at the lowest points.
Yes. Because we always have that point. We have a problem. No, let me just start from the beginning and
Perfect. So, according to you, what do you think are the signs is the problem, but what do you think these people do? Like the signs that toxic people do that they never themselves realize that they're doing?
First of all, they have a tendency, if someone is at fault and they know they're at fault, they never talk to you. They tend to cut you off. To avoid having to talk to you. I feel bad or no. At some point, if I can get a motor post, so they're gonna cut you off. And I feel like that's one thing they do.
And one thing I have to say about that is that most of the time, subconscious thing, although I cut off. Anyway, I'm cutting you off because
you did 1, 2,
3.
Yeah, but I'm choosing peace. When I'm choosing peace, I'm choosing peace. You're not choosing peace. You are toxic. But anyway, now on my end, I feel like somebody is the problem. It's somebody they want to always make their problems somebody else's. It's always somebody's fault. Like they feel like they're always right in some way. In the wrong.
They never take responsibility.
Baby,
what time?
Low self-serving.
Lara, egocentric, self-centered, everything.
I want to score 1, McD 0. But these kind of people, they always want to make their problems yours. It's always somebody else's fault, never my own. Nah, this person did 1, 2, 3. This person did this, and they always want to justify their actions as well. If somebody was to cheat on you today, and then you go and revenge cheat, and nah, this person started it, so I'm just finishing. There's no need for you to be finishing that.
Why did you even agree to go on revenge? Why did you do it in the first place?
This to me, that on its own shows that you're also a problem. The fact that you're able to do something like that means the other things, no matter how small they are, that you were doing in that same mindset. Same, like an example that I would give, maybe I said something that was out of place, and I didn't realize that it had offended you so bad. And then even you don't tell me or talk to me about something that I said that has hurt you in a way. Nike or no, we are fine, everything is cool. And then out of the blue, you just do something hella saying it offends me, and I'm open about it. I voice it out to you, love, I didn't like that you did 1, 2, 3, buddy, I didn't like what you did. I want even we justify worrying. These are the kind of things to me, I feel like a lot of people do but don't realize that people that are vengeful basically. They're vengeful. They always want to get back at the other person when there's no need.
That kind of response, I feel it doesn't actually solve anything.
It creates more problems. This is why there's a saying, you can't, something about fire, something to do with fire. You can't put out the fire with another fire. Two wrongs don't make a right. It's two. Make it 0. But that's these are things so far. It's a 2, right? These are the things toxic people do, but I feel like they sometimes don't realize when they do this.
Can I add something? A new point. One other thing I've noticed about toxic people, they never want to confront the person with the issue. They rather talk behind your back. and start doing they're
always talking behind people's backs.
This guy did
they're
this
always
and
talking
this,
about
and I don't know what to do.
Look, you know how it is. If you have a problem with me,
tell me straight up.
Tell me straight up, hey, yo, buddy, I didn't like that you said 1, 2, 3. I didn't like that you did 1, 2, 3. Voice out that unhappiness that you have within you. Don't keep it disclosed. Yeah, because the moment you start involving other people in an issue that
becomes a big issue,
that doesn't involve them, they get to have their own opinions
about it.
And kana nung haba na di opinions tsa bone ba samalla ba bua di kgang tse ileng gore ha di a lebagana wena ka they don't know you like
they don't know you like that.
They don't know you like that. So motho samalla khaela hela
and then the next thing you'd find that people have a certain perception about you just because they had something about
because they had
but
something.
But then that's not
exactly.
true.
Yeah, one other thing I've noticed, outcome, that kind of thing is because it's how so similar because you're not talking to the person you want to matata lane. It's a way of talking to that person but not actually
not
directly
to that
person. And that kind of thing, it's like letting shit slide. And letting shit slide for long, it leads to resentment. By the time
just them being in front of you, it disturbs your soul greatly. So that's the thing. That's the thing with building up, having constant. There is that constant build up of emotions that are not. If you're unhappy about something or unsatisfied about something, and you don't voice it out in that moment that it happens, can I at least give yourself some time to go think on it, then come back to say it. It's saying moering selo si regetse gompieno e bo didimala throughout e re kira sengwe se sengwe gape e bo ntse didimala gape e re se sengwe se diragala kore until you reach a breaking point. You know, when you put so many things in a bottle, at one point it won't close.
It won't close.
It won't close when you try to put a lid on it. It won't close. Can it burst? Right. These are the things they happen. Can pouring water in a balloon? You know what happens?
For sure.
There's gonna be a point in where
it bursts. Exactly. So when the more you have problems accumulating, there comes a point where enough is enough. And when you reach that point that enough is enough, you end up saying things that are out of line. And end up doing things that are out of line.
Exactly.
Out of character.
We are talking about telling other people about your problems, right?
Yeah.
And on top of it leading to resentment and making you say things that are out of line, you are involving a third party to your problem.
To the problem.
It makes it worse because that third party, if the person the person that is being talked about and the third party don't have a relationship, it's obviously going to as the person who the third party is always like Jack on perception
about you.
That perception I think they spread it to whoever is there to ask about that person
and the funny thing about it is we're not about the third party. And the third party is going to tell someone else. And then it becomes a very big issue. People are going to be like,
why is the third party being told about our issues? I mean, of course, I understand that people by justify that's my best friend. I'm venting out.
Hey, this is where they're venting.
Guys, stop venting. Stop venting. Stop venting. If you're unhappy about something, if you find it hard to tell the other person, dog, there are many other ways you can go about this. If you can't say it face to face, send a text. If you can't send a text, put it down on paper for yourself, because it's you can forgive somebody for an action that they did, even whether they know or don't know about it. You can forgive that person even without having confrontation.
So for the sake of argument, I get that some people have the confrontation
that's the point that I'm making. Confrontation, it's
he or she feels like this is going to be so stressful to me. What am I going to do? So in that case, the normal thing to do, Tata, let me not say the normal thing, but the easiest thing to do
is talk to somebody else.
The nearest person, regardless of of what kind of information they're talking about. And as long as and you know what, we do understand why people do that one. But understanding why someone does that doesn't actually mean it's right.
Justified.
Because everything has a reason, but guys, sometimes
I mean, I understand what you're trying to, get weight off your shoulders and all, but other people dog is on good terms with the party in discussion, is good with you. You can tell your friend or disclose information to your friend again, and your friend my friend Baira 1 2 3, this is what's going on. I want a point where they have a topic about you. It's basically a conversation starter.
Exactly.
I want these kind of things. You are toxic,
and it's very
you
funny
are the problem. Discuss a relationship why did I understand what the couple gossip is, they gossip. It's part of it's part of job.
Couple.
Like say maybe a couple and you have a problem with your friend, and then you go tell your partner 1 2 3 sharp you are disclosing in your partner, but your partner doesn't know your friend. Like you mentioned long time ago, where perceptions nothing, and your partner ends up hating
that
the other party, other party in the wrong in any way.
You see, that's the funny thing about this whole situation. We're not about you are venting. The funny thing is you are venting. Maybe another problem of the problem.
You are the real problem. You are the cause.
You are the cause of that particular thing. And the third party, they never really give the people on Hubuaka a chance to hear that story. What's he said of the story.
Because those things like that. I can't come to you
and be like you can explain
more especially ha be go ke di khantsini wetse le ha di nkame le nna o ke bolellwa
exactly
why ke tsaka lona ibile gape lona ba le retsang di khantsoni why le tshwanetse go retsa
guys ebile nna yo ile gore I've experienced this a million times. Because there are a handful of people ba le gore gona I don't think I'll ever fuck with them because when it
so happens that when you get close to that person you actually find out this person is cool. This person is cool. They're not the person that made out to be. This person how easy. The moment you start to get to know me and realize what I was being told is
it's a lie.
It's not. It might sometimes it's not a lie, but it's just not 100% the way it's being put.
But the funny thing is, we should all know that as people, I'm different when I'm with my friends. I'm different when I'm with other people.
We treat people differently according to who they are.
Yeah. That's why I can't put what kind of a person are you? It depends on who I'm with. Right. If I'm with my boys, I'm like this. If I'm with these people, I'm like this. So until you come close,
very personality.
Get chameleon.
We've been waiting to use that one. I'm sure. Like if you're trying to understand why he's been trying to use that one. Remita chameleon. So anyway,
like I was saying, different so could you find that another particular person over a long story? Watch that person, I'm gonna be a nice person. I'm going to be someone who's
I've seen something about this on Twitter where if somebody tells you that I'm this kind of person, that's true. Like you give different energies to different people according to who they are. To somebody I might be nice, like you said. To somebody I might be rude, but there was a reason why I was rude to that person. There's a reason why I'm nice to that person. There's a reason I'm like this to whoever it is that I'm encountered with. So if somebody says I'm like this, if you want to believe it, I'm like that.
Right? But I feel like also if you come to me with a perception of I feel like that's the behavior you're gonna get from me because your mind
your mind
has
is
been
already
set
made
to
up,
that point. Obviously, you're gonna start getting things, and when your body's just gonna feel like get sharp. I'm getting honestly.
It's so on point. Hey,
I'm telling you, automatically right now if I was to tell you guys what I'm no.
Psychology. Is it paranoia? What is it? Paranoia. Yeah.
So don't come to me. So the advice is don't come to me with whatever.
You can have a perception on somebody, but don't come. I'm like that. Be open to the idea that person might not fit that perception that you already have of them.
Thank you.
The same thing with having an idea of what somebody is in a relationship. And then the person shows you truly, and then you get disappointed at who the person really is than the image you thought they were. It also causes problems. It causes a lot of rifts within the relationship. Like no, McD is a romantic kind, whatever. Men like it's but I can spoil you from time to time, not the way that you thought that I would. These things happen, guys.
These things happen, honestly.
So having an idea of who somebody is also a toxic idea.
It's a toxic idea
it's toxic from the get-go. The moment you have a perception of somebody and your mind is made on it and is going to stick with it and not having room for change, you have a problem when yourself.
Even I feel like even more friendshipping, we should establish talking stage more friendshipping. Not only on relationships.
Relationship, hence why I acquaintances and friends.
Exactly.
If somebody you meet today at Groove is your friend, buddy, you have a problem. Not everyone is your friend. You should know this.
You should know this.
You guys are old enough to know. Not everybody is on your side.
And also,
even the people that say are your friends, not all of them are your friends. But anyway, that's not the chat.
That's a topic for another day.
Now I'm here to tell you that you were the problem.
You were the problem.
Yeah. And then another trait that I feel is toxic is where you are one person that's always taking and never giving. Because you are always on the receiving end. You have nothing to offer, basically. Or maybe you are not looking to offer whatever to that other person, but how I see the other person. You whether it's when it comes down to effort, the other person is always putting in effort where now it's always half-assed. You're not as invested as the other person.
From conversations, activity,
everything. Just the interactions. You're never the one person your partner can count on. You're always getting. You take.
And when you know what? I don't know why people do this. Me, let me speak from my point of view. When somebody does something for me, automatically in my head it goes like
I must reciprocate.
Hey, let me do something like that, even if it's not on the same scale or whatever.
But
as long as I'm doing something for exactly.
Not the same thing, which brings me to a point that I mentioned with my friends Molome. Have you noticed that on Valentine's Day, only girls when we post any present? It's like Valentine's Day is for girls. Something like that.
Christmas.
I feel like that this is like the topic that we're talking about. People who expect to be given and can't give.
They never give.
And you know what? Now I fully agree. I can like like girls deserve princess treatment. And
even gents deserve king.
Both can be true at the same time. Your girl deserves princess treatment.
Ibile princess treatment, dog.
Bruh.
Queen
treatment.
But how can I treat you like a queen if you don't treat me like a king?
Exactly.
Because you can't have a queen without a king.
Exactly, brother.
4D chess, and then, yeah, what other sign can you guys think of?
But baby, before we go into the next one, let's just expand on that one. People are always receiving. Guys, a relationship is not exactly a relationship. Let me just say
relationships generally
speaking, on a broad scale. They are nice ways, you know what? This guy can borrow.
It's two-sided.
It's two-sided, right? So this guy, one day I can borrow him money. The next he can just give me. We can just do things. Things that you
don't have to ask for.
Exactly.
Doing things osakopa, guys.
We are on this. Shout out to my nigga Aichi dog. I miss you so much.
Hey, you're getting it in there.
Let's go on.
Yeah.
Guys, also realize it's very easy to fall into this kind of routine where you're always on the receiving end, where you're always taking and never giving. It's very, very easy. The moment you find yourself being somebody willing, you reach out to people only when you need something. What else would somebody do? As long as you're always taking and never giving, this routine is very easy to fall into.
There's gonna be a point where all the time you're supposed to be receiving. All the time you're supposed to be receiving. Guys, let's normalize this thing of giving and
reciprocating.
Yes, please.
It's key. Reciprocation is key.
Because here we're not just talking about relationships, we're talking about friendships.
Any kind of
relationship.
This is what we are speaking on. Any kind of relationship. You were the problem.
When
are you ready to
hurt me.
The weekend because of you.
And when you think that the ones who at fault.
Guys.
Honestly.
Because on both ends they can blame each other.
Thank you. I was just about to say
on both ends they can both blame each other. But before that happens, guys, sit back. Understand what your actions how did they contribute to how things ended? Because in one way or the other, they definitely did contribute to how things ended up.
But just a quick question. I don't know if I should ask it now or later at the end of the video or at the end of the podcast. The question is, when do you think is the right time to tell this person, no, I'm at fault? Because when you've suffered, did you do it immediately after the breakup, friendship thing ending?
Let me tell you, when you're ending things, guys, I feel like when it comes to breaking up or cutting ties with people and whatever, some people prefer ghosting because it's not too much admin.
It's the easiest thing
to do. With cutting ties, guys, I feel like people need to understand where you're coming from. If today I know that I did something terrible to somebody, I want to cut things off. I'm explaining my side. No, I feel like on my side you do 1, 2, 3, but
I did 1, 2, 3.
I'm not gonna say that it's entirely on you. I know for a fact that I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm taking accountability for it. And because of that, I feel like we should end here because clearly we are both two different people and it's not going to work.
You know what though? Let's just remind ourselves that taking accountability doesn't necessarily translate to being sorry for what you did.
Yeah.
Good, you can know or you did something for this reason.
But it doesn't mean that you regret
doing it.
Yeah.
And some people are like that. Taking responsibility doesn't necessarily mean gore motho is sorry for whatever he did.
Yeah.
Gore somebody the whole discussion centers around being the problem.
Yeah.
Some people don't know they're being the problem. Some people know they're being the problem. Maybe they don't mind being the problem because that's just how they
choose violence.
They choose violence. I don't want peace. I want problems.
Always.
So you see, so you see, some people are just like that, you know. Kore motho a teng will know gore you know what, but
won't admit to it.
Kore even if they do, kore they just don't.
They're just not sorry about it. There's no remorse.
But to cut those people off today, regardless of the repercussions, guys, you don't need those kind of people in your life.
Facts.
But wow, ke matimoni.
Facts. And then there's also one that I also feel like it's something saying it's a toxic trait. You know how you have problems with somebody but you still choose to keep them close. Having frenemies. Having frenemies, right? Where this person but you still choose to have that person close.
What's the thinking behind that?
It never makes sense because you see these kind of people, like if you have a frenemy, one thing for sure is what you feel is you don't owe that person some sort of loyalty. Let me tell you, who's the king? I'm gonna tell you guys this because I feel like there's a lot of misconception around this loyalty chat. Guys, people owe you decency. Just common decency. If I'm nice to you, dog, come on, you can't be rude to me for no reason, no apparent reason. If I'm nice, like it all comes back to reciprocating, guys. I can't be so nice and you being you.
And you know what? I used to be a firm believer of this thing of
people don't owe you shit.
People don't owe you shit, but guys,
people do owe you common decency.
Hi Karo, then all of a sudden you just say, fuck this guy, man, I don't give a damn about him.
Dog.
Like this line that I had last week, loyalty over love, you can lose someone just because you love them, and you can keep someone. Because when you're loyal to someone, no matter what happens, you'll always keep them close to you. That's one line in about
yes.
Loyalty. I'm loyal to this particular person.
Being loyal.
I can't lose at any chance.
Yeah.
But loving someone, you can love someone about I'm gonna let you go because I love you.
Fact.
Yeah.
You can't you can be loyal, yes, but being loyal doesn't mean that you have to take bullshit. If somebody does you wrong and whatever, fine. That time, because they're showing you signs that time with you is over, so it's time to let them go. And because you're one loyal person, loyalty it's there for life. There's a point where it ends when it's continuously betrayed, but it doesn't mean you should keep that person close. If that person does something wrong to you that you feel like is it's at a point you can't have this person around anymore. The loyalty that you owe, whatever has happened between you guys is just going to stay between you guys. On your end, on your end, why it's worrying, whatever happened is just going to stay with you. It was similar, no, 1, 2, 3 just to get back at some amount. You start disclosing the information. It's a boy, it kind of revenge, basically.
And to what end?
To what end are you willing to go just to make a point to that other person?
So just
you end up doing things that detrimental to the brand, my nigga.
Since we're talking about frenemies, I want to ask a simple question.
Sure.
So when you break up with someone, are you willing to keep that person as a friend? Or somewhere
breaking when you break up in a relationship, if you break up with somebody, dog, it doesn't necessarily mean you hate them. You break up with them because it's costing you your peace, but you still love them. You don't hate them, you just love them. You just don't like the actions that they did, but you don't mind having them around. Some actions this is somebody I cannot keep around because it's definitely going to disturb your peace. There's some actions still you wouldn't mind keeping them around you, but in a distance different from how it was before. It depends on the situation,
the breakup ended, and how the whole situation
unfolded.
This issue is very, very much subjective because kana motho mongwe ha cheatilwe, he can go like, nah, never again, I'm never got hangit like about one of this person at any place or time or wherever one. But
I relate. Her mind. They would just don't want that person as a partner anymore. But wouldn't mind having that person around. For people like me, when something like that happens, if somebody cheats on me and I'm like, nah, dog, I don't want this person anywhere close to me, it's because I know I invested a lot in that relationship. And having that person around is a constant reminder of
what happened,
what happened, and it's painful, guys. It's painful. Maybe there might be a time in future where you wouldn't mind having them and laugh back on whatever happened, but at this particular moment, I am not able to have you around. So best thing for us is to go our separate ways. Best thing is for us to go our separate ways because like we mentioned earlier about the whole resentment and everything building up. These things happen. You can end up hating somebody just because they're still around and they're a constant reminder of your pain.
Yeah.
You can hate somebody for being a constant reminder of your pain.
And you know what, guys? I feel like whatever happens during your relationship, whether the money you spend or whatever, yes, you can have some regrets or one. But those things, they happened during the relationship, and at that time, they made you feel good, But it's in ourselves. It's human nature, how we invest us in, or when you're doing something, you expect to get something in return. Even if it's not something big, but you expect I expect in the grand scheme of things, I get that same kind of energy back. So when somebody cheats or does something that doesn't go along with your way of thinking, it's going to be so hard on you. Or you're putting them in distance. You can't blame the person or because it's very hard to describe a person fully or batung. This person, how we run, but
but the good thing about it is, like I always tell people, always leave a room for disappointments.
That one is true. With anything that happens, this is the same thing. When I'm leaving a room for disappointment, it doesn't necessarily mean you expect for things to go wrong. It just means that there is a chance.
There's a chance.
You're right.
Because life is all about probability.
There's always a risk to reward ratio.
Always.
It is always there. It is always there.
So guys, just make sure you always leave a room for disappointments. You get into a friendship, make sure this person might disappoint me one day. Or get into a relationship, make sure not that you're not going to love that person.
You can love that person wholeheartedly. But when things happen, you are not surprised that they did.
They did happen.
You're just disappointed that they actually did happen. You're disappointed in that it happened. But it's not like you were waiting for it to happen.
You were just prepared.
Yes.
Hey, there's a difference between waiting and preparing. In this case, you're prepared for in the event that it does happen. Unfortunately,
the same way there's a fireplace in every building. It's not like you guys wish for a horse. No, it's just that the fireplace is there.
There's a chance that in case a fire happens, we are able to take it out.
It's a fail-safe in a way.
So that's how it really is, guys.
Malitak, from the bottom of my heart, guys, relationships in all facets are hard.
Hawana manual.
Batung.
Hawana therefore. Who guys? The Butungus don't pell.
They don't pell.
When you think that they're over, times 2 approaches. something will always happen.
Something will always happen.
Something will always happen.
Yeah.
It has different ways of manifesting, but it will happen. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but yeah, these things do happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, guys, unfortunately, we've reached the end of today's episode. It's a really fun topic.
It was fun.
Cannot exhaust everything in one sitting. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks.
I appreciate it a lot. Gents, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate your support. And yeah.
Yeah, man. You're welcome.
We
Anytime.
always here, brother. Yeah, so it's me again, Pako, and I'm gonna shout out my boys. Achike, I miss you, brother. Again, second time on the show I'm saying this. Later, but yeah, anywho, even the birthday girl, happy birthday, Naledi, brother. I love you so much. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's your boy, DocBoy_D, Gorata Phuthego. Shout out to my friends, ATM boys. Shout out to Lana Kim. Shout out to my nigga, and shout out to you, MacD, for doing this, man. I feel
we love you, brother.
We love you, man.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. But anyway, guys, bless.